Hi, my name is Jeff Fassbinder with Align, and today we're going to be checking out the Trex 700E Super Combo V2 here. You'll notice that this is the packaging as you'll see it in your local hobby store, and all the contents that are in the box will show, so you'll know exactly what you're going to get when you go to your local hobby store. As far as tools and other accessories that may be required, we'll cover that during the course of this video. And we'll also show you a number of the new tools that we have available. We have, for instance, this is a tool in a way. It's called the multifunction tester from Align. It functions as a tachometer, a servo tester. It also has a battery analyzer, enabling you to check the cells, the individual cells of your batteries with the JST type connection, and you can also plug in others through adapters, and it gives you basically a readout of your battery condition and let you know how much of your pack you've used after a flight if you so choose to do that. In addition to that, we also have some new tools called the feathering shaft wrench here. This is for the 700, for instance. Here we have the 10mm as well as 8mm one-way bearings for gripping onto spindles and things of that nature. So that's a tool to have for your flight box. And for the smaller helicopters such as the 450 and 500, we also have this wrench here, a feathering shaft wrench. So look for these in your local hobby shop. Great addition to your flight box. So you know, if you ever need to grab one of those bent spindles, as it so happens after a crash or something to that nature, these are a little bit of an asset to have within your flight box in order to aid in the use of removal of your spindle. Further, you can use this without marring the shaft or, you know, basically causing like knurling, if you will, with pliers and things of that nature. So it's a good thing to have if the spindle, if you're just removing it and it just for some reason it's locked up, you can get grip on it without actually having to grab it with a pair of pliers or something of that nature. So that's that. And when you're building, it's always good to have a anaerobic retainer, and here it's the hold tight retainer from Align. It's a little bag of Align cells. This is K1029 1TA. So if you're building and you use a lot of Loctite or just think you may spill, make sure you pick up an extra one of these at your hobby shop when you're going to do a build such as this, because it's always good to have extra Loctite on hand just in case you need it, and that way you know, it just makes it easier for you. You don't have to go out to, you know, have that. That's an extra thing to have when you are putting your helicopter together. What you will need, the thing that you will need for flying this helicopter, which is not included, is the batteries. And right here I have the Align. These are 40C 6S packs. They're 5200 milliamp capacity, and again, these are available at your local hobby shop. Number on this is HBP 5200 1T. It does have the JST type connector. It does require your type of connectors, whether it be bullet, a Dean type connector, power pole, whatever it may be. You can solder up the ones that you choose to use with the batteries. It does require two for the 12S configuration, so that's something you want to pick up at your hobby shop. Also from Align is this serial plug. Makes it very convenient to plug in your batteries. This goes to your controller, this side, and this goes to your batteries. So each battery, both battery 1 and 2, plug in here and get you your 12S configuration, arm with your speed control, plug that in, and it also has a handy little hole here so you can mount it on the side of your frame so you don't have to worry about losing that, and holds it in position so it's easy for you to connect and disconnect your batteries. So look for that in your local hobby shop. It's from Align here, and again, that's a serial plug. Alright, well, why don't we get in this box, take a look what's inside. I'm going to move some of these helicopters out of the way. I do have 700, the current 700 right here. This is the V2 that we're building. but you'll see that we do have what the 700 looks like here, and also have the F3C 700 version here, the Superior, and that's the flybar version there. But we're going to be working on the V2. We'll see what's new and exciting about this particular helicopter, and hope you watch. And today we're going to be working on the Trex 700E V2. We're going to go through the build process as it's outlined in the manual and show you the contents that are available within this box. As far as the specifications and some of the other key features, we'll cover that as we do the build process. So let me clear some of this stuff out of the way, you know, our tools and things like that, and get set up for the build. I'll be moving these helicopters out of our way here, so that way we have a good amount of space, and we'll open up the box together, take a look at the contents, and see just what's included in a super combo box as provided by Align. Okay. Alright, so clean up our workspace just a little bit here so we can kind of see what's in the box. I'm going to open this up and we'll pull out the components as they come out of the box here. You'll see it for the first time. And again, this is what you'll expect to see when you purchase your Align Trex helicopter at any of your local hobby shops. So let's take a look here. Let's go ahead and open this up. Alright. Let me pull that open here. When I open the box, you'll notice that there's compartments for each component within the helicopter. Main blades, canopy, main rotor head set, electronic devices. Everything's all contained in one box. Your 3GX is right here. So let's pull this stuff out here. Let's go through this. Let's pull this box down just a tad here. Let's pull this out, and then we'll look at the components here. Open this up. This is a 3GX. This is your flybarless control system. And then when we open the box, inside here, you're going to find various sub-assemblies pre-assembled, okay? And we'll discuss pre-assembled here in just a second. You know, you got bearing blocks, all kinds of things, but we'll go ahead and set that out there. Swash plate, tail box. So I'm going to go ahead and, it's going to look a little messy there for a second, but let me go ahead and do that and get some of the boxes out of the way so that way you get to see all the contents here. Okay, so that just came out of this box here. That's the main rotor head set. Main rotor head set, you had your 3GX, you had swash plate, main shaft. It's all sealed up. There's a tail box here. Like I said, this is, excuse me, not your tail box. But this is what your boom mounts to. This mounts to the frames here. You got your heel gears. So that drives your torque tube. There's your main rotor head assembly right here. Grips, center block. It's all complete right there. And let's see what else is included in this one box. You have your upper and lower bearing blocks. You also have your mount for your motor. You have the lower bearing block for the shaft support on your motor. So that's in here. And then you also have the arms for your cyclic controls on your helicopter. So quite a bit of stuff in this bag, and screws and things like that. So that's all contained here in the bag. So we'll set that aside right there. Again, those are the contents of the rotor head set. Okay, so put that there. Let me move that aside so that you've seen that. Those are the contents there. And this one is the electronic devices. And let's see what we have here. Wow, alright. We have what appears to be some extensions. We have a regulator for powering our helicopter, the RCE-B6X. That's to power your receiver. You also have servos here. We have the DS610s, 3 of those. Okay. Some people have asked us about the aluminum servo wheels. These aluminum servo wheels, the blue ones, are for Futaba type spline setup, and we do have red ones that are available for JR other types of servos. What I did want to point out is that the aluminum servo wheels only come with 3 servos. The tail servo has a plastic arm, and the servo is the 650. So just so you know, you're not missing one. It actually, that's the way it comes. And for the reason being is, you know, there's a lot more chance of you, you know, making contact with your tail on the ground, and that'll hopefully prevent your servo from sustaining damage. So the plastic arm, if something does happen, will take the hit and either break, and you can just replace the plastic arm. Put the metal arm on there, most likely that damage will transit to the servo. But for our flight controls, we want ultimate in toughness, strength, and durability. We don't want any slop or anything like that. That's why we're using the aluminum servo horns on all our cyclic controls. As far as what's also included in his is the Phoenix Ice HV120 controller. This is the new Ice 2. This is in the box. This is in the V2. And you can see on the controller there, it's got the Ice 2 with the red logo there, or should I say red insignia. So you see the logo there. This is the updated version, and this is the new Ice 2 as provided by Castle, from Castle here. And that's included with our kit. And within this kit, we also have another item here, which is, let me pull this out. The new MX motor. The motor that's included with your kit is the 510 kV motor. It's an exceptional motor for 12S. We do also provide the connectors. Motor is included. So again, on the electronics, you got your controller here included. You have 4 digital high-speed servos, 3 on your cyclics with the aluminum horns, 1 on the tail, the 650, and that comes with the plastic horns. You got your regulator, connectors, motor, pretty well set up there. So again, I mean, just looking at this, and then let me borrow this guy over here, the 3GX. You got all this stuff right here. Pretty much, you can fly your helicopter. If you had satellites, you have everything you need. The only thing that you do need to add is the battery support. But everything else, as you can see, is included with the kit. So I think you find it's very comprehensive. I want to say super combo, and it still enables you to utilize your radio system, whichever you prefer to use. So let me go ahead and move these aside here. So we looked at those. We'll put these aside real quick. Got the extensions, the motor. Keep this contained here for the moment. Okay. And let's look at main blades. Well, that sounds pretty obvious, but let's go ahead and take a look at it, just so we know what this entails. Within the main blades, pull out a cutter here. What you'll find is, again, this is a fly-barless helicopter. Align is providing us with a set of 3G blades. Very rigid, very well balanced. All of them are coated at the factory to control batch lots from batch to batch and ensure consistency and quality. So again, that's included with your kit. We'll be utilizing those later on here. So, and you got the white and black, so it's very easy to see in flight. So let me go ahead and put those aside here. And then we have our boom and various components. Let's see. Let me open this up here. Comes with not one boom, but two booms. So let me go ahead and pull these items out here so you can see everything. And let's pull that out. Okay. Out of there. It's round. I'll put it back in the bag here until we need it later. You got your carbon boom supports that are included. Again, the bag on this is the 700 FLT5. I'm going to go ahead and stick that back in the bag so it's not moving around. We have the, which looks like a fly bar. We utilize this for telling us what our pitch is. So this goes on the top of our rotor head, and it's used in conjunction with some parts that are over there. And we put this on top of the head and basically watch from the grip here, making sure this is parallel. And that's how we determine our pitch or cyclic. And I'll show that later on, but that's what this is for. So don't throw that out, you're going to need it. And it comes with two booms here. We have both a carbon boom and an aluminum boom. So in case you have a mishap or just your preference, if you choose to use carbon and or the aluminum, you have that option right out of the box. So that comes with you. You got two booms that are included. And then you have a couple other carbon items here. This is the push rod for the tail. It's pre-glued the ends. They're already glued up for you. You're just going to put your ball links on these ends here. This is not glued. This depends on where you actually put the actual retainer on their boom. So we'll use CA for this later on in the build, but that's what that's for. And this protects the carbon when this is sliding back and forth hundreds or thousands of times during the course of your flights. It doesn't wear the carbon. So that's what this is for. It protects the carbon from getting worn. So that's why you want to use that and glue it in the correct spot on the retainer. Alright, so we'll put that back in here. And it comes with a plastic tube. You might say, well, what's this for? Well, this is to utilized to set the depth of your bearings. When you push this in, or when you push your torque tube in, you push that into your boom, you're going to utilize this. So we'll show you what that's used for. And later on, when we are doing that, you may want to have some Windex or oil for sliding in the bearings, and I'll go over that. Here's the bearings uncovered right now. They'll get covered up with a like a dampener. And the boom will utilize this tool here. Okay, we can utilize this as a tool to measure. So if we wanted it to be 210 millimeters, we could just mark it off with a marker and show that. And we'll do that during the build. And then same thing on this side, we can measure whatever depth it calls out for on the manual and do the same here. Okay, so we'll put that here. Put this back. Alright, and this is our torque tube. It's a very rigid aluminum torque tube. It has the bearings already pre-installed. The ends on the inserts are pre-installed. So you don't need to assemble this. It's been pre-done for you. So we'll be utilizing that here during the build. And that's the contents of what is in that blade box. Again, this is the 700 FLT5 segment here, and these are all the contents that are included within. So we have our blades and all those parts I just showed you here. Alright, let me put that to the side for a moment. And let's see what else we have here. I know we want to see that canopy. Before I do that, let's take a look at these carbon frames that are included with our kit. Obviously, we have a right and left side here, and you'll notice that there's a white piece here within the frame that's been inserted into the frame, and the reason that is this is our carrier for our batteries. This is to ensure that they slide right in, making battery changes very easy, and it just makes it a lot quicker for you to change out your packs when you're on the flight line. So that's a great feature of the frames that are included with the T-Rex 700E here. So let me put these frames aside, right there. And then we're going to look at the last box here, which is the Canopy. And let me close this box up. Alrighty, let's put that aside. Actually, I'm going to put you down here for now. And let's look at this box here. It's the Canopy. Last box we have not opened. Alright. What do we have here in the new V2 box here? We have a Canopy that's containing a lot of little parts here. Let me go ahead and let those slide on out. And beautifully painted canopy, great colors, great visibility. This is the new 700E canopy design. It's awesome. The yellow with the blue here, whether you're right side up or upside down, it's got very good contrast in the sky, on blue sky, orange and yellow, you know, just have really high contrast, so it's a great canopy to have, and it looks great too. Pre-painted, done like this, just as you see, I pulled it out of the box here. So that's awesome. That looks great. Let me see what else we have in the Canopy box. In the Canopy box, we have a number of items here. We have a set of landing gear skids. It has the dampeners, the screws, as well as the poles, all contained in one nice bag. That's the 700 HG1. We have the 700 HB7, which is the main gear. And what you'll notice too on the V2 is that it's a helical gear, and that is included with the kit. It's as you see it there, it's pre-assembled for you. So we have that. We also have a new locking system for our battery tray. This is a patented item by Align, and what it does is enables you to basically plug in your battery tray with this lock, and it catches the latch, locks your batteries in place, and there's no other need for any type of restraint for your batteries. So your harness, which will basically, I'll show you what it looks like here. Let's see if I have it. Here it is. It's this aluminum tray. I'm going to leave it in its bag right now. We'll get to this in a short while. But this aluminum tray is where you mount your Velcro and also put your straps. And then this is slid into this unit here like this, and that locks in, and you're good to go. So it's a nice feature of the V2 that's new and updated. We'll also be looking at a number of contents within the tail grips, the carbon tail blades, the new tail box. It's much more rigid. It has thicker sidewalls on the back here. You see the radiuses here. We'll look at that in more detail. And you'll get to see, you know, what it is that makes this the V2 helicopter. So that's another feature there that we'll review here shortly. The tail. And last but not least, you have various assortment of things that you're going to need for the build process. Grease. It has anaerobic material here. You have a number of ball links, Velcro, blade holder, just to name a few. Okay, and that's everything that you see there. And of course, the manual. Alright, we haven't looked at the manual yet, but what we're going to do, what I'm going to do, and what I encourage you to do, is to read through this manual prior to assembling your helicopter. Take a look at what it asks of you to have available to you. And some of those I've already covered, such as the tools and things like that. So you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to have some CA, like I mentioned, to retain that sleeve on your torque tube. You're also going to want the CA for the ends on the skids. So you're going to want to have some CA handy. Also, it'd be nice to have a pair of dikes or scissors handy. The Phillips screwdriver, if you do happen to have the Align tool, you do have that. You're going to need that for your servos. So that's something that you're going to want to have. If not, you're going to need, at the very least, a Phillips for that process. As far as oil or lubricant, you'll want to have that for the boom assembly, for when you're putting in those rubber inserts that encapsulate the bearings after you glue them in position. You're going to want that for sliding that in the boom, and that's going to make it for an easier build process there. So again, as far as radio components, the only thing you're going to need either is satellites with the 3GX and or an S-Bus or 2.4 type system to be combined with the 3GX for stabilizing your helicopter with the fly-by-wire system that you see here. So as far as that's everything that you need to get this helicopter going. There's other things like pitch gauges and things like that we'll utilize as we do the final radio installment. But let me go ahead and clean this up and we'll get started. I'm going to go ahead and look over the manual as I'm encouraging you to do, and we'll get started. So I'm excited to build this and assemble this with you, and hopefully we can get this built together. So let me go ahead and reconfigure, and we'll start this build. Hope you'll watch and you know, be able to at least see the process, and if you find that you know, your skills enable you to move faster along, or as far as the sequence, feel free to do so. This is just to supplement the manual that is provided by Align, and to help visually give you a depiction of what the manual entails and what you actually need to do to ensure that your helicopter will operate in a safe manner. So let's get started. Alright, thank you so much. Again, my name is Jeff Fassbinder. If you have any questions about any of the build process, feel free to email me. It's at Jeff, Jeff, at AlignRCUSA.com. Again, this video is brought to you by Align, and we look forward to seeing you at the field. Thank you.